You know, ladies and gentlemen, I have been an advocate here. I have been sitting back. I've been minding my business. I have been wishing nothing but the best for the competition, which is Microsoft. I've been hoping for them to step up and actually, you know, pretty much shift the tide, so to speak, since everybody is indeed arguing over this console war. Unfortunately, according to this, ladies and gentlemen, we might still have the same results. And according to this, and this is the same reason why a lot of people act the way they do when it comes to Microsoft, is not being biased or anything. No, the reason why people act like this regarding Microsoft is because we see stupid stuff like this on Twitter day in and day out. And the sad part is, this isn't even from the community. This is from the actual executives. One thing about this, okay, if Shuhei Yoshida was in this position, we would not hear the rest of it. We wouldn't hear the end of it at all. If Shuhei Yoshida was doing this, Sean Layton was doing this, Andrew House before he retired, along with Kaz Hirai before he stepped down as CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment, and so on, right? And what's that dude's name? Adam Boyes, right? If there was any Sony representative doing this, and Sony was in Microsoft's shoes, and they're not releasing anything that's bringing any value to the Xbox, and Xbox had all the top, you know, exclusives as of right now, they didn't have no Game Pass, they were just doing everything that made sense, right? I guarantee you we will not be hearing the end of what I'm about to talk about right now. But before I get into that, let's just get into the actual tweet. This is from Mike Ybarra. Digital Foundry just released a video making my claims of Anthem playing best on X look stupid. Sorry folks, once again, X isn't giving it to you. Nothing to see here. I thought his whole tagline was X gonna give it to you, was it not? I thought the whole tagline behind the whole Xbox One X was X gonna give it to you. So now we're just gonna abandon ship and not talk about it. See, this is what I'm talking about. As soon as Phil stated that we're gonna be committed with the next Xbox, I knew there was nothing coming to the Xbox One X. Nothing. There was nothing aside from stuff that we already knew about. Nothing's going to be releasing for it. The X was literally just thrown out in the market just so they can make a quick buck off the consumers. They literally threw the Xbox One X out here in this market with no care whatsoever towards the fan base. And that is the most telling thing I have seen in a long time. It's pathetic. It's frustrating and it's ridiculous at this point. It's ridiculous. You mean to tell me you can't give your fans, your loyal fans who went out there and bought this console, not once, not twice, but 3 times? You can't give them anything that's worthwhile until you drop the new Xbox? Yes, we know the new Xbox is coming, just like we know the new PS5 is coming. But for you to not even acknowledge any games, for you to not even talk about any games, and just talk about features and features and features, and not even shed turning a blind eye to the future, which is gaming. You guys are talking about features as the future for next gen gaming. You guys are talking about streaming as the future for next gen gaming, but I'm sitting here looking at the variety of games here, and I'm looking at the studios, and yes, they did buy some new studios, but we don't know anything about these studios. We don't know what they're doing. And the sad thing about it, they already stated a long time ago that they were looking into AA developers. There's only one studio that we know for a fact that's pretty much confirmed at this point is going to be making AAA games, and that's the Initiative. That's pretty much it. Ninja Theory, we don't know what Ninja Theory is actually working on. We don't. Could it be another Hellblade? I hope so. They need something. But the fact remains, man. Game Pass is the priority, services is the priority, and hardware is most certainly not a priority. And with the new XDK that they are going to release at the Game Developers Conference in 2019, oh yeah, it seems like they don't need hardware at this point. And a lot of you guys didn't catch on to that. So many of you are running scared from that news alone that Microsoft is going to release a new software for the Nintendo Switch, Androids, and tablets, you name it. They're going to be releasing this new software that's going to be available so that you can play their games on all other devices. Some of you dudes are sitting there trying to flip and saying, well, they're being pro-consumer. They're letting their games be played on your, Nintendo Switches. Sony's anti-consumer because they won't let that happen on their PlayStation. No, they're not doing that. They're doing that to maximize profit. Let me tell you why they're doing that to maximize profit. Because you guys aren't supporting these games. Even the games they advertise, these games are not doing what they're forecasting the games to do. Back when Gears of War came out, back when Forza was, red hot with the 360, and the same thing goes with the 360 with Gears of War when it was first shown, and Alan Wakes and all that, right? Everybody was buying those games. They were supporting those games. I'll tell you why, because Microsoft got it. Games mattered. Yeah, sure, they had the deals. That's why they focused on Call of Duty. They focused on giving you the best multiplats in terms of like content-wise, right? They were focused on that. They already had the best like multiplats by default because the 360 was easier to optimize than the PS3 because the PS3 was, you know, obviously hard to develop for, but they were giving you stuff with the 360. The Xbox One, they have taken a nosedive from the basic principles that made the Xbox 360 thrive in the market. And the fact that still stands here, even when they had everything working in their favor with last generation versus the PS3, they still lost. So that alone should be a clear example of why you guys are not only focused on the wrong things, but you guys are not looking at the picture here. You're not. It's okay to talk about something being pro-consumer 24/7, sure, but what good is that when these games drop, right? And they look like Crackdown 3, and they clearly have no effort going into them whatsoever. Crackdown 3 pretty much is a sum up of what Microsoft thinks to their fans. They think you're stupid. They think you're gullible. They believe that you'll buy anything because that's all they got to offer. That's literally their mindset, which is why they want to put them on every other platform. They want to put less effort into games, but guess what? They want to sell them to a broader audience. That's all it is. That's all it is. I'm convinced until I see these new studios prove me otherwise, they are guilty until proven innocent. All we know for a fact is that they're going to support 3 to 4 studios. And that's Halo, the studio behind Halo, Gears, and Forza, right? And of course, the Initiative. That's all we know so far. We don't know what else they're going to support. We don't. And we haven't seen the results. So until I see the results, until I see the games that look on par and actually compete with, you know, Uncharted and The Last of Us, you know, the games you guys call interactive movies, you know, the games that you said were walking simulators like, you know, David Cage's Quantum Break, you know, or not Quantum Break, Detroit. Quantum Break, ironically, Quantum Break is coming to the PS5, or sorry, PS4, and that's called Control, but you get what I'm saying, you know, but Detroit. Notice how Detroit was a walking simulator. Notice how Detroit didn't have no respect from anybody. They said Detroit was garbage. And yeah, you guys are excited that Detroit's going multiplat. You guys are saying this is the best news ever. So you mean to tell me that this walking simulator that you guys have ridiculed for years, especially going back to Heavy Rain, you mean to tell me you guys wanted to play them from the start, but you never demanded better and asked Microsoft to create their own? Sure. Well, I'll let you guys sit on that. I'm gonna let you sit on that. I really am. My rant's over. I'll see you guys later. Deuces.